Houston, Texas is the fourth most popular city in the United States, and for good reasons, guys. The food is great here. They have a booming job market. However, there's also some drawbacks about living in Houston, Texas that you should be aware of before making that move. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why you should avoid moving to Houston, Texas unless you can handle these 10 facts. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Living in Houston, Texas channel. If you're new to this channel, it's all about what it's really like living in Houston, coming from an actual native Houstonian, the up, down, left, and right. I'm gonna tell you what it's like to eat here, play here, sleep here, breathe, and everything in between. If you're not new to this channel, welcome back. Hey, do me a favor, make sure you guys hit that like button because it helps everyone that's looking for this type of information find it easily. And also, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you're notified anytime I upload a new video to this channel. So let's jump right in, guys. The extreme summers in Houston, Texas are a nightmare. Temperatures can range from anywhere from 95 all the way up to over 100 degrees in the summertime with 90% humidity, guys. So it really makes it muggy and nasty here. If you're not used to the outdoors, extreme heats, you don't want to live here, guys. Outdoor activities in the daytime, when it's hot like that, they're very limited. We are known as the most air-conditioned city in the nation for a reason, because it gets hot. Okay, so the next reason, guys, is the high property taxes. So we don't have state income tax here in Houston, which means you get to keep more of your income dollars in your pocket. But trust and believe me, the state makes it up in property taxes. So to kind of just give you guys a range, the inner city property taxes really range from about 2.4 to 2.8%. When you get in the suburbs, though, you're really anywhere from 3 to 4% property tax. Let me explain what that means and how it works. So every area around Houston is going to have a property tax rate. Like I said, the city 2.4 to 2.8, suburbs, you're looking anywhere from about 3 to 4%. So when your home is going to be valued by the county appraisal district every year, what they do is they take the value of what they think your home is, and then they multiply that by that tax rate. And that's how you get your yearly tax rate amount. So let's just kind of put some numbers to that. You're in the in the suburbs, you have a tax rate that's like 3.2, 3.3 on a larger scale home, a $600,000-$700,000 home. You're easily paying 20, 25 grand in property taxes every single year. So just make sure you factor in that when you get ready to move here. Property taxes are not cheap. Okay, next reason, guys, is hurricane season. It is active here in the mid to late summer, guys. And yes, we do experience hurricanes and we do experience flooding. The last major hurricane we had was Hurricane Harvey. We had torrential rain that just really dropped down on Houston for a 2-day period, and it caused some really massive flooding, right? But let me say this, guys, flooding is not prevalent in every single area of Houston. Honestly, there's more areas that don't flood than that do. But I'm sure you guys have seen us on the news at some point in time. There are some areas that get substantial flooding. So if you are moving here after watching this video still, just make sure that you're in areas that you're moving in areas where they're not where it's not likely to flood. You can look at the various flood maps out there, FEMA flood maps, and look at particular flood zones. If you are in a flood zone, and you have a mortgage loan, your mortgage company is going to require that you get flood insurance, and it can be a substantial cost, and it has to be paid up front. It cannot be included into your mortgage payment and things like that. So just like I said, just keep those things in mind. Also, too, like I said, flooding, those hurricanes, they happen a lot in the mid to late summer months. Guys, it doesn't get cold or cooler in Houston until about the end of November, right? So anywhere from May all the way up to about early October, it's pretty scorching here. So when hurricanes happen, there's a lot of power outages and things like that, and you can be out of power for up to a week. So to be without power in 100-degree weather, it can be a little bit torrentious, right? So just keep those things in mind. It does flood here, and we do get hurricanes. That's something that you could possibly deal with when you move to Houston, Texas. So the next fact you should know and why you should not move to Houston unless you know this is our traffic is freaking terrible. And I'm just being honest, guys, it is terrible. As a native Houstonian, honestly, I've just only seen it get worse, guys. So according to a study that was released by technology company TomTom, it showed that Houstonians spend an average of 46 hours a year just in traffic. So our peak traffic times, I used to say it started about 6 o'clock, but I was in traffic the other day and I was driving, I think it was like 2:30. And I'm like, when the heck did traffic start at 2:30 p.m., right? So I'm starting to see traffic start as early as 2:30 p.m. and last all the way up until about 8 p.m. at night. And of course, the peak times in the morning definitely gonna be in between 7 and 9 p.m. So just keep that in mind when you're planning out your day. In the mornings, you definitely wanna leave before 7. In the afternoons, you definitely wanna hit those roads by at least before 2 o'clock or after 8 p.m. Stay off the roads during peak traffic time. Sometimes we can avoid it, sometimes we can't. Houstonians, we've gotten used to it. We kind of know the major areas where there's gonna be a lot of traffic and we come up with these detour routes, but it's really no way to avoid traffic if you're living in Houston, Texas. So really consider your commute and the traffic time if you have to hit the road. So the fifth reason, guys, is the car is a must. Houston is not a walkable city. Now, if you live in a localized area, you maybe can walk to certain things, but if you want to get around Houston, you definitely need a car. It's a big city here, and also there's a lack of adequate citywide transportation, so a car is a must. If you live in the inner city, you can get around certain places, like I said, without a car, but the gist of you guys, you're gonna need a car. Let me put some context for you guys. I live in the suburbs. My office is downtown Houston. Anytime I get in my car, honestly, to go anywhere near Houston, it's about a 30-minute drive, right? So don't think that you can get somewhere quickly around the city. You definitely have to plan for your commutes. But like I said, because of our lack of public transportation, we don't have public transportation that adequately can take you anywhere around this city. You're gonna need a car. If a car is not your thing, you probably don't wanna move here. So the sixth fact you should know is Houston has this thing called no zoning. And it really affects people that mostly live inside the inner city. However, because they have no zoning laws, let me tell you what this basically means. This basically means that you can have a commercial property right next to a residential property. Again, it's more so something that we see inside the city, but there is no zoning law. So let me break this down to you and tell you what this means and things like that. You can buy a home, you can build your home, you can live in your home, then right next door to your house, you could possibly have like a storage unit or some type of commercial space built. That is indeed a possibility, again, right? But like I said, it's more prevalent inside the city. We really don't see it a lot inside the suburb. But let me tell you the caveat to that. It can be actually a cool thing, because what's starting to happen is we're seeing these major developments, these mixed use developments. And when I say mixed use, you may see like a development that consists of office space, retail space where people can shop, restaurant space, and then maybe on the top they have like some apartment complexes or something like that where people can live. Those things actually are pretty cool, because residents there, they can go down to their office, they can rent office space, they can go eat at the restaurants, they can go shopping without having to get in a car or drive anywhere. So in those instances, it kind of works well, but just kind of keep that in mind. It's very common inside the city to see a home right next to a commercial space. Next fact, now, because Houston, it gets so hot and humid here, you can sometimes have an influx of mosquitoes or other bugs, that like those humid climates. Honestly, guys, it really drives me crazy. In the summertime, you must have insect repellent here. And then Houstonians, we have to be mindful of like sitting water, having buckets of water outside of our house, pooling water and things like that. Because mosquitoes can get pretty bad here and they do bite the heck out of you. So like I said, just make sure you keep some repellent with you at all times. I'm willing to bet like Houstonian, they sell a lot of bug repellent in Houston because it's overwhelming. Depending on where you are, they even bite through your clothes sometimes. So just like I said, make sure you stay with some type of insect repellent, because you will definitely get bit by mosquitoes living in Houston, Texas. High cable and internet bills here. I don't know what's up with that, but I mean, I pay for my internet and cable usage in my personal home. My personal bill is about $348 a month. In my opinion, I think that's ridiculous, but honestly, my husband is one of those guys that has to watch every channel that comes on TV and all of that stuff. I think we can kind of go over to streaming just to kind of put some context in it. We have maybe 5 cable boxes in the home and then the standard internet. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, and what I've heard compared to other cities, our cable cost is much higher. I don't know what you guys' cable cost is where you live, but if you had to put some context behind it, $350 for a cable bill, in my opinion, is slightly high. Probably what you can kind of see in the suburbs here and there, probably anywhere from $250 to $350, but it does cost a lot to have cable and adequate internet here. And now, especially with everybody working from home, you really need adequate internet service here just to be able to do your job. So keep that in mind. Internet and cable does cost a little bit more compared to other areas. So I've heard, but just in my own personal experience, heck, mine is high. So I kind of talked about this earlier as to why you need a car, right? But public transportation is mostly prevalent in the inner city of Houston, Texas. So there's three main forms of public transportation I'm gonna kind of talk to you guys about. So we have our Metro Rail, which is like the train system, but it's only local to the inner city and most of the attractions. So it goes basically from our Houston Medical Center through the Museum District to downtown, and it ends up like at one of the major sports arenas, right? So it's really not prevalent for you getting around the city. Again, most of the stops are within the inner city. Same thing with the bus service here. So we do have a bus service. Actually, one time I took the bus and got on the wrong bus, and it took me like 2 hours to get where I was going, where it probably would have been like a 35 minute drive. But again, most of our bus stops, our bus system, it is pretty localized to the inner city. We really don't see a lot of buses come out into the suburbs, except for the Metro Park and Ride. So the Metro Park and Ride, this is basically designed for people that live in the suburbs that commute downtown to work. So it's really just not gonna take you all over the suburbs and things like that. It literally takes you from one area of the suburbs straight to downtown. So with that being said, how it typically works is they have all of these park and ride stations all over the suburbs, and you can park your car, hop on. They pretty much don't ride during the middle of the day. They pretty much only ride in the morning hours, and then again after work hours, of course, which would make sense if they're only taking people to work. You don't have a lot of public transportation here, guys. So unless you really plan to live in the inner city, again, you're gonna need a car because we don't have a lot of public transportation. So my last fact that I really wanna harp on, guys, is the abundance of toll roads here in the Houston area, right? So let me kind of explain what toll roads are. I'm sure you've probably seen them in other cities and things like that. But essentially, because Houston has grown so much, we've had to build more freeways and highways and things like that just to get people adequately around the city. Now, the toll roads are not funded by our local government. They're funded by us. So people, we pay for them. So what you'll see is you'll see these toll roads, they go around the city. We have two major toll roads. It's going to be what we call Beltway 8 is a loop around the city. And then now even going further outside, we have 99, which is our newest toll road. But again, they will take you all the way around the city if you just stay on them and ride on them. I heard 99 is so large and so far outside of the city that riding on Loop 99 will take you, it's like driving from Houston to Dallas. But anyway, so throughout when you're on these toll roads, and then there's various checkpoints where you have to stop and pay. A lot of us have easy tags. I mean, so you're not physically stopping and paying. You just put a tag on your car and then you hook up your account, you link your account to that tag. So every time you go through it, it just charges your account. And then once your balance reaches so low, it'll replenish it. But guys, you cannot drive anywhere remotely outside of Houston, Texas without bumping into a toll road. And when I say remotely outside, I mean outside the inner city, right? Soon as you hit like right outside the city of a suburb area, you will bump into a toll road. And then they've even created some to give access into certain areas of Houston that may not be as accessible via a freeway. Like for example, the Fort Bend toll road, which I use often to get into my area where I live. They created that. So, I mean, it's a lot of toll roads around here. Honestly, one commute, you probably spend, going back and forth, you could spend anywhere from $3 to $10 just on toll roads. Because like I said, most of the time, you're not just going through one checkpoint, you're going through multiple checkpoints. And each checkpoint is like $1, $1.50. I don't think I've seen any as high as $2 yet. But I mean, they range from like $1 to $1.75. So just imagine going through 3 or 4 of those on the way to where you're going and then going through another 3 or 4 on the way back. So it really can add up. And the toll road police are crazy. So, I mean, they really take it serious about people making sure they pay the tolls. So if you don't have a tag and you go through the toll, they will fine you. They will look up your license plate. They will track you down. Trust me, they will track you down and they will continue to harass you until you pay your toll bill. Taking it so far, it's even summoning you to go to court if you don't pay your toll bill. So make sure you pay your toll bills, guys. But yeah, just know that there's no way around the toll road authority if you live in Houston, Texas. So that's all I have for you guys today. Everybody, I'm Nicole Handy. I'm the team lead of the Nicole Handy team here in Houston, Texas. And we get so many people reaching out to us about their move to Houston, Texas. They text us, they call us, they send us an email. No matter how they contact us, we absolutely love helping people move to our great city. You can do the exact same thing, guys. So you can send us a text. You can go ahead and give us a call. Or better yet, you can skip all of that and schedule a consultation with us using the link below. Either way, we would love to help you make your move to Houston, Texas a seamless process.